Hello and welcome to my new video. Today I'm going to talk about Aries season 2025 and I will focus on the new moon solar eclipse in Aries and the full moon in Libra. And if you don't know me, hello, I'm Verena. I work with evolutionary astrology, somatic experiencing, and my intuitive guidance. And I'm here to bring light and consciousness to your unconscious patterns on a somatic level, on a spiritual level, on a soul level. And I hope that this video gives you a little bit more clarity about what you already feel or sense, and help you on your personal journey. Um, if you have watched my video about Pisces season, I have talked a lot about um, a certain degree or a big degree of overwhelm, uncertainty that you might be indicated by the North Node in Pisces. And I feel that now diving into Aries season, which is a cardinal fire sign, but we are still in eclipse season and we have the North Node in Pisces for for the whole year, for the next 15 months or so, depending on when you are watching this. So there are these topics of disillusion, disillusionment, letting go, release in the field, but also the possibilities for more flow, for more trust, for more surrender, for new magical experiences and portals that are opening, especially during eclipse season, which is a time of deep transformation. Eclipses are actually new moons and full moons that are happening in conjunction to the lunar nodes, and the lunar nodes are symbolizing our personal and collective evolution, development, and what we are here to learn, to heal, and so on. So when we have these new and full moons on the lunar nodes, that just indicates and shows that evolution is in the spotlight and the change is happening and part of our human experience of planet Earth. We have every year two eclipse seasons, so change is inevitable. That is just what the cosmos is mirroring. And yeah, maybe it's important to mention here that my approach to astrology, to the transits, is not that I think that the transits, the planets are causing anything. There is no one-way cause and effect relationship. It's more like a synchronicity. We are all in this together. You, me, planet Earth, nature, the cosmos, and we are all in this big evolutionary dance together. And this is why that what I am saying now, and then the tarot cards that you are pulling, and what you feel, and what your spirit guides are telling you, it's all so synchronized. Because astrology or other divination tools are just ways to see and gain a little bit more clarity on something that is not always visible with our human eyes and not always understandable with our cute little human brains. Even though we wanna believe that we can understand everything with our brain. But you are here, so you are not one of these muggles. You know that there are things that are in between worlds. And this is the perfect gateway into a feeling of being in between. So right now, in Aries season, at the beginning of Aries season, or in the first half of Aries season, you might feel a little bit like in between, or very much like in between and like in a void. So Pisces season was intense, and Pisces season, I think, one of the major topics that will, I think, continue to accompany us during the whole time with the North Node and Aries. It was like being more or less gently invited into letting go everything that you think you need to feel safe, or that you think you need to stay in control of your life. And we are really invited into a deeper level of trust, self-trust, but also trust in our guidance, in God, Goddess, universe, source, in your intuition. And what I feel right now that we are coming into Aries season, there are some cosmic alignments that bring more clarity into these diffuse feelings, or very subtle feelings of that there are cycles ending and new cycles are starting. So on Sunday, 23rd, a 90-month Venus cycle ended and the new Venus cycle in Aries started. Venus is still retrograde, Mercury is still retrograde. Neptune will actually move after, I think, around 14 years in Pisces. Neptune will move into Aries one day after the solar eclipse in Aries. So the solar eclipse is on March 29th, and Neptune will move into Aries after 14 years in Pisces on March 30. So there is, and being in Pisces, in these Pisces Aries, I mean, we have the North Node. So I'm talking about the moment of the solar eclipse in Aries. We have the North Node, and I can show you actually the chart because then I don't have to say it all out of my head. So that's the moment of the solar eclipse in 9-degree Aries. And it's actually a good screenshot for the energy of the first half of Aries season. So we have, yes, we have the sun and the moon in Aries and Mercury retrograde in Aries. But we already have, Venus has already regressed into Pisces, and we have Neptune still in Pisces, moving then into Aries. So he is like in between. And then we have the North Node, Saturn, Ceres, Venus in Pisces. And Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and we are in this eclipse time. And the new moon is in Aries, but the North Node is in Pisces. And I have the feeling that there's a lot of, maybe you feel like you need to release old cycles and things that are no longer aligned for you, things that you have outgrown because you have evolved so strongly over the last weeks and months. And you might have not yet the idea what's coming in. So one experience that you might have right now is that you feel, yeah, I need to let go and I need to grieve, I need to mourn what is no longer aligned with me, what does no longer, what does feel limiting and not true any longer. And I have not yet an idea what's coming in. And that is very scary, especially for our nervous system that always wants to keep us safe. And it's so much safer if we know what's coming and what we know what we can expect. And another experience that you might have, and maybe you have both experiences, but in a continuum, I think especially around the new moon solar eclipse in Aries, you might feel like, because you have released so much on an energetic level, on a conscious level, on a subconscious level, and there's this void space, that now you can receive new ideas, new impulses, new sparks, new lights of inspiration. And I think it is very, very important here to stay open and receptive, and also to feel very much what brings you joy, what lights you up, what are these sparks of inspiration. Because I think, and I already said that, I think in my Venus in Aries cycle video, I think that these sparks of inspiration and these sparks of joy and aliveness, that these are our guiding lights through the waves of Pisces energy with the North Node. So in Pisces, it's very much about, it can feel very confusing and it can feel like we are losing our way. Why? To find even a way that is more in alignment and more true. So sometimes we need to be confused in order to find our true path. Sometimes we need to release in order to learn to trust the flow. Sometimes we need to let it all go so that there's space for miracles. It's a little Pisces reflection that I'm sharing with you here. And I think our joy, Aries, the spark of inspiration, that what lights you up, that what excites you, not in a stressful urgency kind of way, but in an expansive kind of way that you feel in your body, yeah, that feels exciting, and not, excitement makes me smaller. I think these can be our guiding lights. And I think on the one hand, it is now important to be brave. I think we are, or we should be, or it would be nice when we would be already there, that we can release these paradigms of fear and lack of time, lack of money, and that we can allow ourselves on an individual and collective level more and more to follow our joy, because our joy is very often the indicator for something. Our joy, our heartfelt joy, is very often the indicator for our truth and for what we are here for our purpose, if you want to use this word, or what is meaningful and what wants to be expressed through us in this phase of our life, in this moment. And I think it is very important to listen to these impulses, to these seeds, to these sparks. And at the same time, it is so important to not run hastily forward now. Because often when we feel this, okay, I received this idea and now I have to put it into action. Now I have to, do all the things. That often comes from another fear. That often comes from more of a fight-flight response of our nervous system, especially when you have learned as a child that you just receive love, safety, connection, attachment when you are the first and when you are the best. Or when you just live in our society where in performance culture, being very fast is glorified and slowness is, slowness is judged as laziness. So there is, I think, with the Aries, and I feel this fight-flight pattern because of fear to be not fast enough. I think I see that as part of the Aries archetype and a more challenging part of the Aries archetype. And I'm feeling inside of myself and I'm seeing in my environment that it might be important right now. Mercury is still retrograde, Venus is still retrograde, that around the new moon, which is also an eclipse, which means we are sitting in the dark, that you are not step into action and run forward from a place of urgency, from a place of stress. So there are many, many different different reasons why we should not do that. I don't like to say things like that. But yeah, sometimes we receive a seed of an idea, and then it needs some time so that it can gestate inside of us, so that it can actually unfold inside of us. Sometimes we receive a spark of an idea, but when we immediately put it into action and bring it out into the world, it's actually not yet ready to come. So maybe you need to make some experiences or meet certain people or have some more realization so that this little spark becomes a full fire. And that does not mean that you should fall into the shadow of the Virgo South Node, perfectionism, and think, okay, I will never be ready because maybe I need to learn even more. No, that's not what we want to do. You can plan, but give yourself time and be very aware of, am I acting from a place of urgency and pressure and fear of being not fast enough, or am I acting in an aligned way? Are my actions in alignment with my intentions? And also what we learn this whole year is that, can I act and then can I lean back again and allow the waves of Pisces, the divine energy of the universe, that they carry me forward? Because when you run forward, you bring yourself, you don't allow the universe to support you and to carry you maybe very gently forward without so much effort. Talking to myself, it's one of my biggest lessons. So yeah, especially around the new moon solar eclipse in Aries, sit, listen, receive, feel what brings you joy, be very self-honest, and don't try to avoid certain steps. So maybe there's first something that you need to grieve. Maybe there are emotions that need to be felt before you go to the next step. I think it's really much this image of step over the threshold. I think we are there. Step over the threshold, but don't run over it. Like, take your time to do that. And I think then when Mercury stations direct, which is Central European time on April 7th, and Venus stations direct on April 13th, I could imagine that then there is more, then you have, everything has more integrated in yourself. And maybe you have already done certain steps, but I think then there is more forward movement energy. And you are ready, you're more ready. And then we have the full moon in Libra, which is no eclipse any longer, ruled by Venus, and Venus stations direct in Pisces on exactly the day of the full moon in Libra. And the full moon in Libra is also opposite Chiron in Aries. So I think there is something around, yeah, opening up then and going out into the world with it, talking about that, bringing it into life, and also the potential for healing. Because I think in the moment we step forward, we follow our joy, we follow our truth, then there is always Libra, the quote unquote danger that our counterpart judges us or rejects us, or we are afraid that that can happen, even though it's not happening, or we expect that this might happen. So I think there's something around this. Am I trusting anyway? Venus and Pisces. Am I trusting anyway that I'm guided? Even though maybe the effects that I hoped for or that I expected are not coming in. Or even though I put my heart out and it was not as received as I wanted, that I still trust. Or the opposite might be the case. I am authentic and I I am brave to put myself out there in front of my partner in a new, more authentic way, or in front of my audience with a new offering, or anything else. And maybe you have the experience, the very healing experience. Wow, it's actually, I can trust myself. I can trust my guidance. I can trust my joy. It's working. So I think trust, trust, trust again is the message. And I actually want to wrap it up here. I think I gave you already some ideas and inspirations, and I have an offering that goes so much deeper into all of these energies. And this offering still runs until the end of Aries season, so until the midst of April. And it's my Soul and Soma Telegram channel. It's no group. You are not confused by the messages of everyone who is in the group. You just receive mainly audio messages by me in English language around every day or so. I send you an audio message, and these messages include astro updates, intuitive messages that I channel directly from my guides and send it to you. Somatic impulses, like there are already, when you now join the channel, there are already tons of messages about all on these Pisces energies and all of these eclipse energies that we are in. And you find already recorded audio somatic practices that you can do to regulate your nervous system. You find meditations. So there's already a lot of beautiful, valuable, supportive content on the Soul and Soma channel. It started at the beginning of Pisces season on February 18. So dependent on when you are watching it, there's already it's like a mini course of deep support. And my audio messages are actually very deep, sometimes pretty long, around 10-15 minutes. And you get so much guidance, so much clarity, astrosomatic impulses to find your very authentic and very aligned, soulful, embodied way through the waves of the Pisces eclipses and through the flames of Aries season in this very transformative portal time. So if that sounds interesting, go to the description of the video and sign up. It's now at a discounted price. Soul and Soma Telegram channel. And if you are interested to learn more about my work and to get impulses for free, sign up for my newsletter. I highly recommend it. And I also have a free gift. It's my Venus freebie. You can download a beautiful guide on planet Venus and her cycle if you click on the Venus freebie below the video. And of course, I offer one-on-one Soul and Soma offerings, sessions, and guidances. When you have the feeling, okay, I need really personal support and I want to sit with Verena in a one-on-one setting, book a session or a guidance. You can now book your session for April, May. Yes, for April, May. And I work with evolutionary astrology, somatic experiencing, and my intuitive guidance in my one-on-one sessions. And I support you astrosomatically and holistically. So yeah, I think, yeah, when you did not check out my last video on Venus, I also have a beautiful Venus cycle in Aries workshop, which comes also with a Venus cacao ceremony. And you can get this one to dive deeper into your personal feminine energies and really unlock the new Venus cycle in Aries for your personal cyclical transformation processes. And Venus and Aries, this whole cycle will be also so important in regard to following your inner fire, following your joy as a guiding light through these very confusional times that we are in right now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I thank you so much for liking the video, for sharing it with your friends, for subscribing to my channel. And if you are watching that on another channel than my Verena Borell astrology channel, head over to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my channel too. I would love to hear what comes up for you. So feel free to comment the video, share your experiences. I love to read them. And I'm sending you all my love and see you very soon.